X-Men 97 Episode 3 is out on Disney Plus, titled Fire Made Flesh. We're going to get into what was in the episode right now on the Sundowners Club. X-Men 97 Episode 3. We were excited after the first two episodes, but as you know, these things can fall off a cliff. You know, a lot of series do. Concerned about that with Episode 3. We got our first glimpse, and Episode 3, I think, kept that train rolling. Thought the tone was different, but I liked it a lot. Before we get into the major beats of the episode, what did you think overall, Episode 3, Fire Made Flesh?
I thought it was great. I mean, it adapted the Goblin Queen storyline, which is, famous storyline in the comics. Really, my only complaint at this point is, they're adapting major story arcs with really just one episode.
Right.
These are story arcs that you could honestly take 2 or 3 episodes.
And they're moving really fast with the pacing.
Yeah, they're moving really fast. But with what they had, to have to cram all that in a 30-minute show, I think they did a really good job. There's only 10 episodes this season, so I think they're doing the best with what they have. And overall, I thought it was awesome. The animation was great. I thought it did a really good job at tying up some of the, it kind of explaining certain things from the previous show. If you watched the previous show with, the story about Cable and all that, I thought they did a really good job with that. So
we saw Nathan Summers born in Episode 2 to Scott Summers and Jean Grey, or who we thought was Jean Grey. And so Nathan Summers then becomes Cable in the future. Mm-hmm. And so, whereas Episode 1 was a Storm-centric episode, Episode 2 was more Magneto and a combination of Cyclops. This was certainly Jean Grey's episode. And we had a horror element to it. It was the introduction of Mr. Sinister and his ultimate agenda for Nathan, aka future Cable, and the what became the Goblin Queen of Madeline Pryor. So we saw that horror element to it, which I thought was kind of cool, the way that they did that. But any thoughts around the story arc around Mr. Sinister? He shows up, kidnaps Nathan the baby. They go to save the baby. Is the major beats? The two major things going on this episode was who was Jean Grey. The real Jean Grey was the one that shows up at the doorstep at the end of Episode 2, and then the Goblin Queen, Madeline Pryor, is the one that just had the baby. And we don't know what point Mr. Sinister switched him, but he takes Nathan. They save Nathan, but Nathan has a virus. So we see more Bishop in this episode. Bishop is going to take Nathan to the future to try to save him, heal him.
Which ties directly into the original series, because you see Cable and he's from the future. And then if you were a comic fan, you knew that was
coming.
Yeah, you knew that was the Cyclops' his dad, but they never explained how he got in the future in the show. And in this episode, they show that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And I think if you watch the original series on the Beyond Good and Evil story arc, which was 4 episodes at the end of season 4, Mr. Sinister kidnaps Jean Grey for Apocalypse. And that's most likely when the switcheroo happened. I think he gave the clone to Apocalypse and kept the real Jean for himself. But that's what I'm getting. That's what makes the most sense, but I could be wrong.
So did you like how they did Mr. Sinister?
We just got I thought he was great. I thought his animation looked great too. His design looked awesome. And the voice, I'm not sure who that voice actor is, if it's the original, but he sounded great as well.
Yeah, all the voices sounded great. We have not gotten much in the first 3 episodes of Gambit and Wolverine. Is that a little concerning? Because that's my 2 favorite characters.
Yeah, that's the most disappointing in me. I mean, Wolverine's a mega popular character. He is by far the most popular X-Men.
This is when they go to save Nathan, he stays behind with Jean, which I
thought that was kind of weird. But I don't know. You're getting more focused on characters like Cyclops and stuff like that. I thought they've done an amazing job with Cyclops so far.
Very good.
One of the best versions of the character in any medium, in my opinion. But hopefully we'll get more Wolverine and Gambit later. I really want to see a lot of Gambit because he's just been sidelined for the past 30 years. And he's a great, great character. So,
and a little bit more humor around Gambit in this episode, this minimal amount of screen time that he got. But, you end it with the Jean Grey, the Madeline Pryor Goblin Queen, leaving the mansion to go carve her own path. She turns good, but she refers to herself as Madeline Pryor. She don't get really any explanation of that. And then we end with Storm in a small town, and a mutant shows up to help her get her powers back.
Yeah, she meets Forge, and that's another famous story arc from
Native
the comics.
American.
Yeah, that they're going to adapt, and that will be kind of, you'll see how she gets her powers back and all that. So they are adapting these major storylines in, one episode for the most part. They haven't had any, in the previous series, they'd have, 2 to 4 episodes to do these arcs. And in this series, they've only used 1 episode. So that's really my only complaint. I wish they would have given them more than 10 episodes to do the season.
And more Gambit and more Wolverine.
Yeah, more Wolverine and Gambit.
And no Magneto unitard. That's all I got.
Yeah, I hope Magneto goes back to his original
Everything
costume.
else is good. Look, we criticize things when we think that they're not serving story and they're bringing in things that should not be part of
it could still fall off a cliff.
This one could, but so far, so good. The first 3 episodes, we like it.
Oh.
And excited. I'm on the train. I'm ready to watch the next few episodes. So
far it's great. I haven't been this into an animated show in a long time. It's by far the best animated show Disney has had, in my opinion.
So we'll see as we get to episode 4 coming up. Let us know what you think. Are you liking the first 3 episodes of X-Men 97? Who are your favorite characters? Or do you not like it? If you don't, why don't you like it? Let us know your thoughts. While you're doing that, smash that like button, hit the notifications bell for future content, and most importantly, hit subscribe so we can continue to grow our channel and TCB.